Into the Fog is a year-round podcast dedicated to covering Halloween Horror Nights Orlando.
From speculation season and announcements to opening night and the final screams of the event, we break down everything HHN.
Follow along for weekly discussions, rumors, news, and all things Halloween Horror Nights. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Into the Fog, an HHN podcast. I'm your host, Woody, and with me, as always, my co-host, Dustin.
What's up, everybody? You can catch us at our socials at Into the Fog Pod on both Instagram and TikTok, and Into the Fog HHN on X and YouTube. Visit our Instagram, and you can click the link tree that's below, take you to your preferred social media platform. We're on all platforms, so give us a follow on all. And tell a friend about us that is interested in HHN.
Yeah, follow us if you want to stay updated with all the latest news and anything going on with the event.
Yeah,
year-round. We're a year-round podcast.
So if you're an HHN goer, this is the episode you want to share.
This is the episode to help you out. This is our tips and tricks episode. We're going to get into a couple of tips and tricks that we've learned throughout the years, and for a first-time goer, something that can easily help them throughout the event. With that being said, let's dive into our first tips and tricks. All right. My number one tip for anybody new to the event, old to the event, is to carry an umbrella, a rain jacket, or a poncho of some kind. Even if there's no rain on the weather report, in Orlando, the weather can change in an instant.
Absolutely.
Like, for instance, last year, it was one of our last nights at the event, actually, and the weather report had zero rain on the radar. When I say it was a monsoon around 12 o'clock at night, it monsooned so much. It rained so fast and so quick.
There's certain parts the holding water was too.
Yeah, the water was over our shoes. So when I say bring a poncho, especially if we're in those tent queues, because I know they have tents over them, over most of the queue, but there's certain parts of the queue that are exposed outside of the tent. So if you're in that part of the queue and you don't have a rain jacket, you're just getting drenched on. And that just makes for a miserable HHN trip.
Absolutely.
Even diving into that, you can bring a change of clothes. They have lockers throughout the park that you can rent. If you rent it in the morning time when you're going to the park, you can put a change of clothes into the locker, or even a change of shoes. So if it does rain and you don't have a rain jacket of some sort or anything to shield you from the rain, and you are absolutely drenched, but you don't want to go home yet because your night is just getting started, you have that change of clothes in that locker that you paid for earlier that day. Because even if the event's going on, because the event is an after-hours park, after the park closes, that locker is still available to you during the event.
That kind of goes into one of my first tips. Kind of coincides with that. If for some reason you don't want to get a locker, or there are no available lockers, at least one. If you're going in a group, one person needs to have a backpack. It could be for holding change of clothes, change of shoes,
merchandise,
entertainment to get you through those long lines. It can
battery packs for your phone, because you're going to be playing on your phone while you're waiting in the queues, especially this year since there's no express with the frequent fear passes.
Halloween Horror Nights runs all throughout football season, so all of our football fans, you can watch the games.
We were draining our batteries quick last year watching the games.
You could clip your souvenir bottles to both sides of somebody's backpack.
I have these big carabiners that I have on mine. They're made for, I think, strollers or something like that. I got them off of Amazon. They're like $10. It comes with two giant carabiners.
But you and I mainly go ourselves, but we had my sister and her husband and both of our significant others there last year, and both of our book bags came into very much handy.
They were packed. But with those carabiners, though, you can clip probably 4 to 5 of the souvenir cups onto them, or even like what I did last year, because you know the universal merchandise bags, they have the handles that you can hold on to them with. So all I did was take that carabiner and I clipped those into the carabiner. But
Yeah, you don't want.
also another tip is, if y'all didn't know, and you are staying on site, if you were to purchase merchandise and you don't feel like carrying it throughout the night, whenever you purchase it, tell them where you're staying and your room number, and they will send at the end of the night, the event night, they will send your merchandise to your hotel, and you can go to luggage claim and get your merchandise. It's the way you don't have to carry it. That's only a perk for people staying on site at any of the Universal hotels.
Yeah, you definitely want to secure those bottles or any type of souvenir
Yeah,
cups because
like these right here. These are all
you,
souvenir cups from the last 3 years of HHN.
you don't want to
So
be that guy that's holding it and getting scared and then Yeta scared at
yeah,
you.
and these right here, like even if you own a souvenir cup already, it can be any souvenir cup. Like I have another one over here on this side that's in my little crossbody bag. It's a UOAP one. But if you have any, like even the old, like these are from HHN. Any of those you can take to the event. You don't have to purchase a new one every year. Even though I like to purchase a new one because it's like a collectible. Like I like to collect things from HHN. So I consider that like as a collectible. And
It's cheaper to renew it
yeah,
as many days in a row
it's
that
I
we
think
go.
it's like $8 to renew it for the entire day, and that can allows you to get any kind of
Any Coke
maybe
freestyle
yeah,
machine,
it's
or
Coke
if you
Freestyle. Yeah, it's a Coke Freestyle. So all Coke products, you get Powerades, water. Like it's a game changer for sure.
it
Especially
works at the freestyle machines, or if you go to some of the theme restaurants, it also
yeah,
works
like
there as
even
well.
they since we had the Freestyle Cup active for that day, we went to a restaurant and they allowed us to get drinks at the restaurant for free. I don't know if that's like a normal thing or if we just got some like a gift
Generous waste,
basically, like so
yeah.
yeah, like a generous person. But with that being said, my next tip is if you're going to this event, please, 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 since we're talking about the cups, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. You're going the event. It's going to be hot. It's humid, and it is going to be muggy. Waiting in those long lines for the houses, mix in a water. I know everybody wants to have all the cool mixed drinks and stuff from the specialty menu items and stuff like that, but do yourself a favor. Mix a like drink you one of the mixed drinks and add a water, or drink two of them and add a water. It'll
You'll
help
thank
you in the
yourself
long
later.
run to where you won't have a hangover in the morning. That's one of the perks. And then also, you don't run the risk of having like a medical emergency of getting too hot or passing out because you are hot.
Orlando's hot enough by itself, and then when you
It's
add
muggy, humid,
thousands of hot
people
bodies
all
around you,
piled into one area. It just amplifies that heat. So please, please, please hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Mix a water in. It do yourself a favor. I promise you, you will thank us just by mixing in a water. So what's your
my
next tip?
my next tip, and you actually taught me this my very first year going. Uh, if you want a good strategy on what to do first, as far as the haunted house attractions, first I would say it's easy to go to the back tents first because everybody's going to go
You
to the
can,
front.
yeah, they're going to go to those
But
IPs up front.
if you're not a consistent Universal Studios goer, download the Universal app. That
Yes,
way you have access to the map, and on the map it'll show you the
the
wait
wait
times of each
times.
house. So
Yep.
you don't waste an entire trip from one park to the other. Like,
Like just
right,
bouncing back and forth, and you're waiting in all these long lines. Where if you would have checked the app before you got out of this line, because this one over here was a 30-minute wait. Now you done waste all that time waiting in this one instead of just waiting the extra 15 minutes over here to get through the line. Where you could have just checked the app and like, oh, that one's 30 minutes. You get through this one, you can star them in the app, and it will update you if the wait times drop below a certain point.
Absolutely, and those houses that are going to be constantly an hour and a half plus are going to stay that way until the very first time you get to the house or
Yeah, like if you
towards
go to
midnight
Stay and
pass.
Scream or past midnight. Then
So
that leads into one of my tips. Take advantage of Stay and Scream if you can. The way you can go to Stay and Scream is if you have a Scream early ticket that you can is available for purchase, or you have a ticket for the Universal Studios, not Islands of Adventure, not Epic Universe, not Volcano Bay. Universal Studios. If you have a ticket to Universal for that day, that will allow you to be able to attend the Stay and Scream for the HHN event. But you also have to have your HHN ticket
right,
for that night. But with Stay and Scream this year, there is something different where three houses are open up at 2 o'clock, not 2 a.m., 2 p.m. So this is the earliest that HHN has ever opened up three houses. And so those three houses are going to be Stranger Things 5, Hellraiser, Jack and Oddfellow, Chaos and Control. So that's two. That's potentially three bangers that you can hit as early as 2 p.m.
so for the listeners, when should they start heading to Stay and Scream if they want to make that 2 p.m. drop?
Um, for the listeners, in this year also, I need to mention with the Stay and Scream, you have to have a wristband that they give you, and you can acquire this wristband at guest services as soon as you walk into the park. But at 1 p.m., I'm pretty sure, two additional places open up inside the park. You can get your wristband at the King's Crossing, which is the train that takes you back and forth between Islands of Adventure from Hogsmeade to London, basically, or Diagon Alley. They'll have a station there at 1 o'clock where you can get your wristband, and then the other one is at Minions Villain Con. There's a station there. And in order to acquire this wristband, you have to have a valid daytime ticket to the park to get your wristband. And
Or
you have to
season
have a
pass?
valid, or like a UOAP, that gets you in the park anyway, but a valid HHN ticket also for that specific day. And they will not let you into the Stay and Scream area or that, like, to get into the houses without that wristband. So, and take advantage of Stay and Scream. You can knock out probably all three of these houses. The only time I see where you won't be able to accomplish all three of these houses from that 2 p.m. window is if it's like the weekend. But during the week, you can go and probably knock out these houses maybe multiple times before the next set of houses open. I think the next set of houses open is two more of them at 5:30. They haven't announced which ones they are going to be, and then the rest of the houses open up at 6 or 7, I think, or
Did they
six. It's
did they
6.
say what time that they let people start entering in to line up for the 2 p.m. Stay and Scream?
I want to say it's like 1 o'clock, maybe 12, maybe even 12. Like I said, you can acquire your wristband for Stay and Scream anytime that, like, after the park opens at guest services, but you have to present your HHN ticket, and then after that you have to you can either still go to guest services or the two other places I mentioned to get your wristbands. And don't try to be slick with it, because the wristband system, each day of the week the color changes. So you might have a wristband on from the day before thinking that, oh, I'm just going to get in with this one. They'll be like, that's not the color of the day, because they literally change the color of the band every single night.
Yeah. And for all of our listeners that are going further into October, Woody and I will be going in a couple of weeks to test out the Stay and Scream, and we'll follow
We'll
up on a future podcast on what's the best way to attack it
Yeah,
again
we'll
once we've
update
actually
you.
done it.
I have somewhat of a plan now on how to attack it, but like D said, we want to test our plan and then give it to you, so to where you will be able to accomplish the most that you can during your HHN. So, like, if you have a single night ticket, we want you to be able to do the most that you can.
We want
And
everyone's
so,
experience to be
yeah,
as
like the best it can be,
memorable.
because we want more and more people to like HHN. The more people that love HHN like we love HHN, the better the event will become. even though it's already the best Halloween event that I've ever been to. But
Absolutely.
on the other side, if you're not able to attend Stay and Scream, take advantage, like D said, of those late nights,
Yes.
especially on the weekdays. Around 12 o'clock, a lot of people during the week, they'll leave at like 10, 11 o'clock. After 12 o'clock, generally the house wait times, besides those big IPs, drop drastically to where like it'll almost be like a walk on. Like a couple years ago, me and my wife, we went Blood Moon, which is my all time favorite house. We had an express pass for the night. We walked up to the dude. He told us don't even waste our express on doing it because it was literally a walk on. He's like, just get in the regular standby line, and then if you want to run it again later in the night before y'all leave, then use your express. Which is
And that's
another
another.
tip in general. During stand screen, please do not use your single use express.
It's gonna be long lines regardless.
It's going to be along lines. You might as well wait during stand screen. Wait until the actual event opens up at 6 o'clock to use your express. Because
Yes.
once the express line or once the actual event opens up, yeah, you might have already got 3 of the houses down. But guess what? Now you still have your express. You can come later in the night and hit that house again and get to experience it more than once.
That goes into my next tip is if you're able to and you're not confined by time, run these houses more than one time. Sometimes in the
Yes.
same night. Yeah, these
They
houses
yeah,
have
that changed drastically because they have
multi
like they have an A crew, a B crew, and a C crew. They might
and
even have a D crew with it open up at 2 o'clock today or
it
this
could
year.
be if you had a bad run the first time, it could be something as simple as the way that the line
The timing.
flowed. Yeah, it's no fault of the actors. It could just be who was in front, who was behind, and
Yeah,
how the line flowed through the house. So don't do yourself a
that's
disservice and chalk
that's
off the
like
house.
last year, like with Hatchet and Chains. All of the scares kept happening in front of me or behind me. I never got scared, and then finally, it took multiple runs. I think it was on like our third or fourth run of that house before I had a
Yes.
decent run, and then as soon as I got a decent run, that house jumped.
I think it was like our second time I got a good run, and you're like, nah, it still
No, I was
sucks.
like, bro, this ain't it.
Yeah.
But then it grew. I got a good run, and then we started getting consistent good runs.
Yes.
Like further, and that's another thing. These houses evolve throughout the year. So if you can experience the early part of the year versus the end of the year, like the longer the event goes, these scare actors learn their roles. They keep learning and learning like what works, what doesn't work. So the house is always evolving. A new scare might get implemented, something might get taken out. Like
Yeah.
it's the houses always evolve throughout the year. So it's if you can experience it, try to go early and late. If you can't, I would suggest later in the year, but there's also more crowds in the later part of the HHN season.
Yes.
So like that September month, September is normally like a dead period. We like to go in October because by the time we're going, like that's normally our big trip every year is the last week of October, the Halloween week. Normally by then, the scare actors know their roles and the best way to scare you. So we get the best runs of the houses.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
And do yourself a favor also. This is going to get into my next tip. Wear the proper footwear. I can't tell you how many times last year I would see females in high heels or dudes in like flip flops or hey dudes or stuff like that. It's once your feet get wrecked from all the walking, your night gets ruined. So do yourself a favor, get you a proper pair of walking shoes. I suggest I have Hoka's and I have Brooks. I bring both pairs in case it rains. Because guess what? If one pair gets soaked, the next day I don't want to put those wet shoes back on. I can wear my other ones while those dry out.
Yeah, even though a company like OnCloud's a good running or walk shoe, do not wear those. There's not enough sole support.
There's not. Yeah, you want one of those ones with the thick bottoms.
Yes, Brooks and Hoka's are about your best safe option.
Yeah, and D, trust me, D can tell you his first year he wore Hey Dudes, and he was begging me about 11 o'clock for a break because we were on our schedule. I wanted him to experience the event to the fullest. So we were running houses like boom, 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 boom,
And
and
my feet were chalked
yeah,
by 11 o'clock.
and so do yourself a favor, get you some good shoes. There's going to be a lot of walking. I I expect there to be around 20,000 steps a day,
Yes.
which is another thing. If you're not used to all of the walking, probably start. I hate to say it, like start training a little bit, like walking,
Walk your
because
neighborhood, walk your dog,
yeah, like
kids.
it's to in order to experience the event to the fullest, you want to do as much as you can. And if your feet get wrecked or you're not used to all the extraneous like walking, it can ruin your night. And I don't want the event to be ruined for you because of that.
Absolutely. My next
My
tips and trick, make sure you bring deodorant. That goes into a couple different ways. One, your armpits. Nobody wants to stink. You're standing around a bunch of
people, yes,
hot people in line in the middle of Florida weather, so the people are going to sweat naturally. So
yeah,
save
just and
yourself.
reapply because as the night goes on, you're gonna sweat it off. I don't care how good you think your deodorant is. I promise you, it will not hurt anybody if you reapply.
Absolutely.
And that kind of gets into my next tip. There's this thing, all right. I'm gonna put y'all in some game. It's called Body Glide. It's for your thighs. It's for all us thicker people, me and D included. We use this stuff every year. Every year I order a 4-pack off of Amazon. It's relatively cheap. It's called Body Glide. It's basically a deodorant stick for your legs,
And
to where it
honestly,
reduces the friction, like so no chafing. But
honestly, and as a fellow big person, there's not much times I had to reapply. I applied as
no,
soon as we
yeah,
left the hotel. Well, for whatever part we were going to that day, whether that been Islands or Universal or Epic, and then I think I applied right before we were going into Stanscream, and I was good the entire day.
yeah, like
Zero
normally
check.
once you do it, you're pretty good. And like I said, everything's on Amazon. Like everything I've been talking about, I've ordered off of Amazon. They're relatively cheap. It's literally called Body Glide, and
It's a white and blue little deodorant
yeah,
stick.
it's white, blue, and orange. It looks like a deodorant stick. It works just like a deodorant stick, and I promise you, it is one of the best things I have ever purchased. And I recommend it to everybody that I go with.
Yeah, if
Like,
you're going to be outside for a long period of time, I don't care if it's HHN or
yeah,
a
anything really.
sporting event, it'll save you a lot of
Anything
heartache.
you're doing a lot of walking.
Yes.
And like like I said, I generally have extras, so I give them to our party because I want them to have a good experience, and anything like that can ruin your experience because if you get chafed up, it hurts.
It's a
You don't
wrap.
want that experience. It's a wrap. But with that being said, one of my next tips and tricks is to I don't know if I want to actually give people this one, but I will. If you have to use the number 2,
And we
like,
all do it.
everybody
Don't
does
lie.
it.
Don't
Yeah,
lie.
let's say everybody. The best bathroom by far in the park is the ET bathrooms over by DreamWorks.
Especially in
it's
the
secluded.
HHN.
It's a dead zone for HHN. There's
nobody there.
like because you have the end of like what this year will be the Fortnite scare zone. It's and then it's before you get into like the chainsaw clowns and Simpsons. So it's over there by kind of by the animal actors, like you're going back towards DreamWorks, right where they serve the pizza fries. And I highly recommend the pizza fries. We get them every year. But that bathroom, if really anything, if you want to use the bathroom and you don't want to be waiting in line generally like all the rest of the restrooms, if you can make it, that back bathroom by ET is a must.
Absolutely.
And there's also like a medical vending machine that has Advil, like anything, deodorant, all kinds of stuff in there. It's also right there at that restroom.
So my final tip and trick, and this isn't HHN specific. is for the park in and of itself, more for the exit when HHN is over. If you are using the running
I know
walkways,
what you're doing. The moving walkway, yeah.
if you chose to do that instead of just walking on concrete, and you don't plan on moving your feet because you have had a long night of walking, so maybe you want to rest your feet,
Move to this.
move to the right side.
Yeah, I was about to say
Let,
pick a side and let the others who want to keep walking, who want to hurry up and get back to their car or their hotel or the buses to take them to the hotel, their Ubers, let them pass you because that's one of our big like it's a pet peeve of mine, especially like we just go throughout the daytime and people just stand all the way across the moving walkway and we have to say excuse me, like just let everybody pick a side and let the ones that want to walk and let the ones that want to stay there stay there.
I think the one thing that sent me last year was instead of somebody standing in the dead middle, somebody was on one of the riding scooters. They were able to walk, but they were on the riding
And they
scooter,
were
and
on the moving walkway
they were on the moving wallway, not moving, blocking the
with the
entire wallway.
scooter.
I think I hopped the rail and just walked on the concrete.
Like, and I highly recommend. Like we're gonna step back into the park. Try all of the themed foods, drinks
Yes.
that you can if you're able to purchase those. Because even if it might sound bad, like last year they had the Bria ramen, it had flaming hot Cheetos on it. You would think that's going to be nasty. Let me tell you, it was one of the best combinations I have ever had. And like I recommend trying as much food, themed food as you can.
Step out of your comfort zone because what was that PB and J mixtape? Was that a
Yeah,
sour or an IPA?
it was a sour beer. It was
So
called the PB and J mixtape.
to me, that sounded disgusting on paper.
Let me tell you, I hope they bring it back this year. Oh, I hope they bring it back this year.
It was an uncrustable in a can.
Basically, like you could taste the bread, the peanut butter, and the jelly. It was crazy. It was the craziest drink I've had at HHN.
Agreed.
And luckily, I found out where they sell them. They sell them at Trader Joe's. So if you have a Trader Joe's, go try one.
Yeah, that was wild.
I recommend that. It's a sour beer. If you don't like sours, I'd still like just try one. Like
I'm not a fan of sours, and I enjoyed.
I'm the opposite. I love sours. I'd rather have a sour beer over pretty regular beer. But try all the food. They have multiple food booths. Like this year, they have one dedicated to Stranger Things, one to Jack, one to Oddfellow, one to Hellraiser, one to Meets, which is a throwback. It's a callback to previous HHN years, and like just try as much food and stuff as you can, or that you're able to. And like I said, once the food menus come out, we in our guide episode on how we would suggest you to run the park, we will go over all the food menus and what we would recommend. I recommend the pizza fries. They come back every year.
Yes, the walking tacos always
good.
Walking
tacos are always good. I have a feeling that we're going to get the Death by Cheese Stick that we had last year at the clown booth. I feel like that's going to come back, and hopefully, if it does come back, they do a spicy version with like flaming hot Cheetos as the crust instead of just the breadcrumbs.
Definitely be nice.
But it's just a few tips and tricks. I have more we can get into. Like we mentioned earlier, though, take advantage of the stay-in screen, stay late if you can. Generally, during the week, it is less crowded.
Yes.
The weekends get pretty crowded. Like the lines get pretty long. Hydrate. If you see us, say hello. Like
and having a plan on some of them busier nights is what's going to be key.
That's another thing. Like once we actually get to test out what my plan is for once we actually test it, we'll put it out there to y'all of what we think is the best plan to do.
Having a plan, having the universal app to be able to navigate said plan, that's going to be key to having a successful night, even on some of the busier days.
Another thing is if you have Express, the rides that are open, like Green Gots, The Mummy, Men in Black, like the actual rides that are open, the Express works for that also. So, and if you're able to afford Express, I recommend it. It's great. But this year we're gonna be waiting in them lines. So,
We'll get Express for a couple of those days.
oh yeah, we already bought one for Halloween night. So we're yeah. By the way, we'll be there that last week of October. That's generally when our big trip is, and if you could do HHN on Halloween, there's no better place to have a Halloween party than at HHN. Like,
Absolutely.
it's what the whole season is about, is Halloween. So, and if you're go with people, like, because like having friends there and experiencing houses and stuff with them, it just amplifies it. Like, if you like do the event alone, then do the event alone. But I recommend going with a group, because like you might have a different experience from, like, me and Dustin might have two different experiences of the
Absolutely.
same exact house, and we can conversate and have a conversation, and that just helps get through the next line. Like, we can talk about what we saw in that house and stuff.
I personally could do the event by myself.
I did
I'll-
the event that first day we got there. I went to the event by myself.
well, I'm just saying as a whole, because I mean, some of them longer lines, like
Yeah, that's one thing I didn't do. The one night that I did go by myself, I didn't. I waited to experience the houses with my group. I just went to the event, walked around, did a couple of. I walked through all the scare zones, ate some food, and tried some beers. That's all I did for the first night when I went by myself, because I wanted to experience the houses with my group.
I'm sure when we first get there, we're gonna go that night and do the exact same thing you just talked about, and
Yeah,
then
probably
actually
we'll just walk around.
we
try a
won't get there
couple
till
of the-
about 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, because we got about a 5.5 hour drive from where we live to get to Universal. So, but that's just a few tips and tricks to help y'all out. Let us know if y'all have any more to include to our list. Everything I mentioned is available on Amazon. The Body Glide stick, I highly recommend. Have a book bag. The giant carabiners, they're on Amazon. I think they're like $13. The 2-pack of the Body Glide might be like $21, but it's a 2-pack and they'll last you forever.
You can even get Hokas and Brooks on Amazon if you want to
Yeah.
throw it all in one cart.
Yeah, exactly. And just hydrate. Be sure to hydrate.
And more importantly, have fun.
Yes. But y'all, we were actually featured on an episode of our friends HHN Obsession. So yeah, we did a roundtable event of Hype List, actually.
Yes.
So if you want to go check out our hype list, one of our hype list 1.0 is what I'll call it, and then our hype list 2.0, which will come out on our channel, will be out next week after this video, right before the event drops. But
right,
go check out their video, or they have a podcast. They don't have video form yet, but they're on all major platforms. If you type in HHN Obsession, it'll pop up. And I highly recommend their podcast. They're great guys.
Give them a follow.
Yeah, them and Deadman's. We all had a great time in this roundtable conversation of our hype list and why we thought these houses deserve to be in that spot.
Absolutely.
And it's just all of us. We were all just basically just hanging out, having a conversation about our favorite event of the year. So
yeah, we had a bunch of shared topics, a bunch of disagreements, but
yes,
even with the disagreements,
some controversial disagreements in there,
hey,
where he had some things ranked.
Someone had to be the black sheep.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, definitely check that out. I'll have the link to that episode in the description of this episode, and I'll have the link to their pages to where you can give them follows also. But that's going to do it for this episode, y'all. The event's rapidly approaching. This will be out, I think, a week before. No, yeah, 2 weeks before, because the event starts on the 28th. This will be out the week before that.
Yeah, and we'll have a little bit over a week.
Yeah, and then our hype list, they will drop right before the event starts. So we look forward to seeing y'all in the fog, and we're getting closer and closer to this thing actually kicking off. And once the event kicks off, we might not be recording as much because we want to experience the event, but we will definitely come back on, give y'all a guide episode, go over all of the where the houses are located, how to attack this, all the food and the menu, food menus, stuff like that. But I'm hyped, bro. We got our hype episode next, and I'm ready to see what your list is.
The fog is rapidly approaching. I'm sure we'll have some shared agreements on our hype list. I'm sure we're going to have some disagreements.
Some disagreements for sure, especially if it goes anything like the last one.
Absolutely. List has changed a little bit. List is fluid.
Yeah, it's definitely our list. Both of them have updated since our last hype list episode with HHN Obsession and Dead Man's Mike.
Yeah, the fog's quickly approaching, so we'll see everybody in there. Y'all leave a like on the video.
Follow us on all platforms.
If you want a quick way to follow us on all, visit our Instagram, Into the Fog Pod. It will actually have a link tree that'll list every social media of your preference. We have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, you name it, we're on it.
Yep. You just hit that link tree, click any of the icons, and it'll take you exactly where you want to go. Give us a follow, leave us a like, and we'll see you in the fog.